In a viral video on Chinese social media, a man says he once served 3 years in prison. After being released, he applied to an electronics factory in Shenzhen, but after only 5 days, he quit. He says that prison was easier to endure because there he worked 8 hours, he had meals, and he had a doctor, while here he worked 12 hours, he had no breaks, and even when in pain he had to keep standing, and when going to the bathroom he had to report it, and if no one could replace him, he had to hold it in. A story that seems unusual has drawn millions of sympathetic reactions because they understand it well, as they too are living the same way.
I'm telling you, if you can avoid working in a factory, just don't go in. The days in there, they're honestly just dark as hell. Like there's really no future at all. Doing the same stuff every single day just makes you numb. Every day it's either working or sleeping. Doing the same thing like some kind of robot. Life just feels so dull and so boring. And now with AI getting better and better, sooner or later we're all gonna get replaced by robots.
In industrial zones from Dongguan to Xiamen, many young couples are advised not to enter the same factory because there, a position of authority can become a tool to trade for affection, and refusal can be punished with the most exhausting shifts. A female worker says that if she does not comply, they move her to night shifts, where she must stand for 12 hours, and many people have to quit. The reality is so harsh that in some factories, as long as you are a woman, you become a target to be hunted.
Girls really shouldn't go into a factory alone, because sometimes the managers there use their power to make really improper demands on female workers. Even if you're just a bit good-looking, even if you're already married, they'll still target you. And once he's set his eyes on you, if you let him get his way, he'll start giving you all the easy, light jobs, might even give you a promotion or a raise. But if you turn him down, the kind of revenge waiting for you is just hard to even imagine. Like, at best, he'll dump all the heavy, tiring, dirty work on you. And at worst, he'll try every possible way to push you out.
At job fairs in early 2025, thousands of students crowd in front of recruitment booths, and a university degree no longer guarantees anything. A finance student in Wuhan says he is ready to work in a coal mine as long as there is a job. That is no longer a joke, because with third quarter growth in 2025 reaching only 3.1%, many local governments are reviving mining, and they see it as social stability.
I was born in 2002, and I'm 23 this year. Right now I'm working in a coal mine every single day. I was born in 2004, I'm 21 this year, and yeah, I'm also working in a coal mine every day. So I kinda wanna ask everyone born in the 2000s, what kind of work are you doing now?
I was born in 2004, I graduated from a vocational school, I majored in traditional Chinese medicine. Right now I'm job hunting here in Koyo, but I just really can't find anything. I'm a 2025 fresh grad. I knew getting a job would be hard, but I didn't think it'd be this brutal. The salaries around here are all like 3,000 yuan. When I open those job apps, it's all customer service, streamers, sales jobs. These past few days I went to a few interviews. And even if I use the skills I learned, the monthly pay is only 2,800 yuan, while the actual workload feels like it's worth 10,000. I also went to 2 more interviews, but the salaries they offered were just 2,200 yuan, not even enough to cover food.
China educates more than 12 million graduates each year, but the economy no longer has room for them, and the gap between the classroom and the market has reached a tragic level. Sectors once praised, such as finance, media, and technology, are now shrinking, and layoffs are spreading. The dream of Chinese students is now simply a job with 5 working days and 2 days off, something normal in developed countries, yet here it has become a luxury.
When you're looking for a job, make sure you pick a place that gives you 2 days off a week. Just remember this, you have to have 2 days off every week. Don't take a job that only gives you 1 day off. A 1 day off job, it just feels like you're barely staying alive. You work, you go home, and you can't even grab a seat on the subway. With a job that gives you 2 days off, at least you get a little bit of your own time. And don't panic if you can't find a job yet, you can do part-time work for a while. I've worked in supermarkets, clothing shops, hot pot places, and all that before. Just take it slow, step by step. Don't worry too much, everything will pass eventually.
Meanwhile, at the bottom tier of the economy, workers still live inside an old and rigid system, with no insurance, no days off, and 12 working hours each day. Some places even abolish the 3 8-hour shifts and switch to 2 12-hour shifts to boost efficiency. The average wage in coastal electronics factories is only about 4,500 yuan per month, while a single ICU shift in a Shanghai hospital costs twice that amount. The only visible progress is the surge in the number of delivery riders, and major cities like Guangzhou, Hangzhou, and Chengdu are now filled with young people riding in the cold rain, and in places that once produced iPhones and exports for the world, delivery work has become a symbol of survival. This is not a story of dynamism or entrepreneurship, but the result of an industrial sector in decline, and a country with the most developed delivery workforce in the world is, in itself, proof of failure in its economic and educational structure.
真的建议像我一样长期失业并且找不到工作的人去。
If you're like me, unemployed for a long time and just can't find a job, I really think you should try doing delivery work at least once. There's no clocking in. No quotas. And none of that annoying workplace drama. Every time you finish a delivery, the money shows up on your screen right away. You don't have to worry about running out of living expenses at the end of the month. You work whenever you feel like it, and when you're tired, you can just go home and rest. Doing delivery also builds up your stamina, and honestly, it helps you lose a bit of weight too.
China exports not only cheap goods, but also cheap labor, and from the era of the world's factory until now, the lives of workers have barely changed. When the economy grows, they remain the class left behind, and when the economy declines, they become the first buffer to absorb the shock. What is called development is reflected only on statistical charts, and it does not appear in the meals of the workers.
我们国家的劳动力为什么会这么廉价？因为资本家。
Why is labor in our country this cheap, seriously? It's because the capitalists just keep squeezing every bit of surplus value out of the people at the bottom. Take electronics factories for example. 10 years ago, when we first went into work, the monthly pay was 5,000 yuan. And it was an 8-hour workday. Later the workday got pushed to 10 hours. But the pay stayed at 5,000 yuan. And even then, people kept lining up to apply. Now they make you work 12 hours a day. And instead of going up, the wages dropped. You don't even reach 5,000 yuan anymore. And even with this kind of treatment, the factories never run out of workers, they never have a shortage. The companies keep pushing to see how far a person's limits can go. And in the end, it's like those limits just don't exist.
In industrial cities, an income of 3,000 to 5,000 yuan a month is now considered stable, and many people accept that level, because at least they still have a job. They do not dream of buying a home, they do not dare to have children, and they only hope not to be laid off. From hope, they have moved to acceptance, and from acceptance, they have moved to silence.
大家是没有见过底层社会吗？像我们这儿男的。
Have you ever really seen the bottom of society? Around where we live, men make like 4,000 to 5,000 yuan a month, and even then there's no social insurance. Honestly, if there were insurance, I'd already feel satisfied. Maybe that just means I don't have much ambition. For women it's around 3,000 a month. And it's tough to even find a job that comes with insurance.
真的特别难，我这个月就赚了大概不到5000块钱。
Making money is really, really hard. This month I didn't even make 5,000 yuan. Luckily I'm single and I don't have kids. So if I tighten my spending a bit, I can still get by. But saving money, that's honestly the hardest part. I do have a little saved up, but I can't just touch it whenever. Everyone knows how tough it is to earn money these days. And on top of that, I can clearly feel my body getting weaker year by year.
Companies increasingly prefer young workers, especially fresh graduates, because they are cheap, they accept long hours, and they demand little, while experience is seen as a burden, and for middle-aged workers, each application is a foreknown failure. As a 43-year-old worker in Suzhou says he has sent 20 applications and no one replied. Behind this elimination is a spiral of responsibility and despair, as parents need medicine, children need schooling, and they no longer have a place in the society they once helped build. The pressure to survive erodes ethics, as interns are exploited without pay, and anyone who objects is replaced immediately, and people gradually become mere accessories in the production machine, replaceable and disposable.
我觉得现在这个社会对中年人太残酷了。
I feel like society right now is just way too harsh on people in their middle age. If you don't have some special degree or real technical skills, once you're past 35, you can't even find a job anymore. These days a lot of companies just write 35 and under in their requirements. I'm 36 this year. And even in restaurants, it's almost impossible to get a front-of-house job. 'Cause stores all want younger workers. So in the end, all that's left for me is washing dishes in the kitchen or prepping vegetables. But isn't your 30s and 40s supposed to be the prime working years? How did society even end up like this?
A former prisoner says he thought he had stepped out of the bars, but in the factory he felt even less free, and that remark becomes a mirror for the entire economy, because when a vast workshop runs on sweat and fear, when young people must trade their dignity to keep a job, and when the middle-aged are pushed to the roadside because they are no longer young, then what meaning does growth still hold?